Hello and welcome. This is Ayana Lahi, and I am so very happy that you're here with me in this week's episode of Be One, Be You. We are diving into a powerful theme, preventing and navigating divorce. What makes a relationship last? There are a few values that we are going to dive into together in our time together, and we are going to explore and jump right into the heart of it all. The reason for separation and divorce ties a deep chord into the heart. When two people are not fully living through themselves but living through the other, the relationship can't work. Unless both partners are living through themselves, living in the full connection to who they really are from a soul level, not a belief system level, the relationship cannot last. How do you get there? What do you do? How do you recognize it beforehand, right? Taking the time that you need to really come through your childhood stuff and be aware of how you've given away your own power, how you devalued yourself, how you found your own self-lacking through the family system, through possibly criticism, judgment, the ways that you had to hold yourself back and to explore why. If you lived for recognition and approval in your family of origin, if you were raised in a family where there was a lot of denial around addiction or around raging, or your parents passed hurt back and forth to each other, where there were possibly issues with money, possibly where there was a lot of money, and the heart was violated or ABR'd, abandoned, betrayed, rejected. You have to really know what you had to work with and begin to work in yourself and really make a big commitment to it. So many partners come together based upon the wounds of their childhood. And the relationship is then used as the surrogate container to work things out in oneself. And, there's really nothing wrong with doing that. There's just pain that happens down the road because when you find yourself, it's oftentimes more difficult to have the relationship because both partners might have gone in different directions. When one partner does the inner work and another partner doesn't, it creates a huge split. So you want to develop your intuition. You want to be able to intuitively feel and know who you are. What do you feel? What's important to you? Couples that make it have similar values. Whether it's creating a stable home life, being able to speak one's feelings, not blame or shame, is super important. Cannot be ignored. You have to know your own body. You have to get to know your own sexuality. It doesn't require having a partner to get to know your own sexuality. In the signature course, Spirit Gateway's Passport, we dive into God sex, into the deep themes of lovemaking. And the lovemaking begins through reconnecting into your own power source in your own body. And in long-term relationship, there's usually the spark that disappears as two people are progressing through getting to know who they are, living life, growing through different hormonal cycles, interests. And it's hard to know ahead of time. It takes a deep state of being with oneself to be able to trust and know and listen to one's inner self. Many relationships that end up in marriage are karmic. That means that you've been together in a previous lifetime. And in this lifetime, you are completing what was left undone or was severed or broken in a previous lifetime. And all those relationships are necessary. Oftentimes, for those of you who can relate to this, you'll connect to what I'm about to say. We stay too long in a relationship when it was only a karmic relationship to begin with. You have to take the time to anchor in to your healed power point centers in the lower part of your body, your root center, the space between your pubic bone and tailbone, and really awaken your pure sexuality, which ties into survival. So if your sexual energies are blocked, your money relationship together is blocked. If money is blocked, then survival is threatened and there's fear. You can trust the love that you discover inside yourself through your inner work. That love that you find, that's what you bring into a relationship that you know is long-term and you want to create it to be long-term. And as you are honest with your own intuitive take in your body, you begin to trust Source will guide you. The infinite Source will guide you, because some relationships go through a lot of rocky territory, and it's meant to work out karma. It's meant to bring up old pain and hurt. And when you stay with moving through that pain and hurt and keep the communication levels up, you can move through anything when the love is guiding you. When love isn't really guiding a relationship, maybe it started with a high-level chemistry charge, and the sex was good, the security that one feels was good. If you're not clear inside with your own body and still separate from your own inner female and inner male, your own masculine, feminine needs to be integrated and connected into. One partner could be fully integrated in their own masculine and inner divine feminine, and the other partner is not. But because the partner who has walked that road, they can hold the space for the partner who really wants to experience divine love. And you can make it through together, but both of you have to have the same desire to be one in yourself and to be one in your hearts. So how your relationship begins is really important. And we're not taught about love, so all of us experience young love that blows up or crashes and burns, or it moves into a long-term relationship, and then it parts ways, and that's okay too. One gets to a point where the heart has broken, and then it's difficult to open one's heart. Those of you who can melt into that one know that it takes a while to reopen the heart when you've been through a relationship that has stung, or a series of relationships over a long time. And they all had something to give, but no one can see you until you see yourself. And when you really see yourself and receive who you are, you're creating the ground for a relationship to grow in. Your grounding has to be fertile. You have to go through letting go of mom and dad, letting go of your attachments to what you believe is true about you based upon your role in the family. If you get caught in your role, it's very unlikely that your long-term relationship can last. So to prevent divorce, and when I'm using the word separation and divorce together, you want to learn how to honor yourself. And through honoring your true self, the you that was hidden underneath old pain, hurt, and by taking responsibility, learning how to respond to yourself, developing the ability to respond to the true you, what you do is you create that fertile ground for yourself to grow. And if both partners are doing that, you're preventing the separation and divorce that happens in relationships where the fertile ground has not been created. It has not been built. It is dry. You want to keep yourself connected to the elements. What does that mean? You want to know your fire. You want to move through the anger. You all know how anger can bust right through the smallest moment in a relationship, and the words fly, and it feels terrible. You want to know your true fire, the passion of yourself, not just through sex, but the passion of who you are in full form. Many relationships are built upon the ego instead of the true self. So if that's happened to you, take a turn here in the bend in the road and begin to face and move through your ego self. In the membership site and the membership course, you receive signature trainings, deepenings, courses, and deepenings, mini courses. You're basically given hundreds and hundreds of hours of training in all of the topics of life from the perspective of oneness. And relationship is what all of the Spirit Gateways work is about, the relationship with yourself, your true self, and how to find it, create it, and maintain it, sustain it. And then relationship with your higher calling, another person, your relationship with infinite source, God itself, within you. When both partners have an overlapping connection with source, not necessarily religious connection, but deep heart connection with source, with God, with that infinite universal oneness. And you see each other as God. You see the God in one another. You serve the God in one another. And you have to first open your heart to the divine within you to see, recognize the divine in your partner. You want to keep sex sacred, not just a vaginal or a penis connection. You want to throw out the window the whole concept of having to sexually show up because you're a couple. You want to keep your heart open to each other during the week. Each week is the goal of keeping your heart open in yourself, processing your own feelings, going through the feeling to find the you that is emerging, and receive yourself. So then you can receive your partner. And you show up with equal heart. And if one of you is more advanced in an area, spiritually, physically, you love the person for where they're at, what they love, and you pursue what you love. And you don't ever shift out of doing and being what makes the true you, you. And when you leave yourself, it's one way to blow up a relationship. And you only have to do that once to get the lesson, where you leave yourself and you look back and you realize what you've done and you choose not to. And so you walk forward into a new relationship with the promise and the vow, the commitment to being you and to staying true to what makes you you in a healthy way. I'm not talking about serving the ego. Together as a couple, when you choose not to serve the ego, but to serve God in your hearts together, you allow for the differences and you bring yourselves closer together through living in that oneness of heart and soul together. And relationship is the most difficult path on the planet. And sometimes it's easier to be single, but the lessons are different. And the experience is completely different. And I want to suggest that they're both part of life. They're both necessary and needed. Whatever you do, love yourself deeply and love each other. Create a time each week to be able to communicate your deepest thoughts and feelings. And when it's time to share something in your heart, make an appointment. Always be mindful of the timing of when you bring something up. And if your relationship is going in the direction of separation and divorce, see it as an initiation, as the opportunity to move through a phase, a cycle in your life, so that you can both move forward and to treat each other with honor and respect. And this is the most important thing to remember. Honor yourself, honor your relationship in the divine. Be true to your whole self. Find it first, and then be true. Holding you in deep love. Thank you so very much for joining all of us today. It's such a profound topic to dive into relationship. I love being here with you, and relationship is, to me, the essence of life, because we are in relationship to everything. The way that you are in relationship with yourself, with all of life, is what creates the foundation for a relationship with the beloved. Feel free, please go give yourself a treat and sign up at my website, ayanalehi.com, IANALAHI.com, to receive the free gifts that I have for you there. And you'll be able to also stay in the loop of the events that I unroll, and check out the foundation course. It's only $7, and it's a gigantic treasure chest, a place to begin in the Spirit Gateways 21st Century Liberation Roadmap. Holding you in deep, deep love until next time. Have a beautiful week. This is Ayana Lehi.